Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our council meeting for the 22nd of September 2021, which I now declare open. Although members of the public can't join us in person this afternoon, our meetings remain open to the public via the live stream on our website, and I extend a warm welcome to all of you who are watching online. Today's meeting is not one of our regular scheduled ordinary meetings of council. Under Council's governance rules, section 11, unscheduled meetings such as this one can be called to deal with specific business. The purpose of today's meeting is to request that the CEO present a report to Council which considers the latest COVID-19 roadmap for reopening and how Council can identify opportunities and estimate costs to enhance our commercial areas. Before we progress to the agenda, I just did want to make a note that obviously it has been an interesting morning for everyone here in Melbourne. We do have an extremely competent local SES branch led by John Bates and Justin Navis. So if anyone is experiencing issues from this morning's earthquake, you can give the local SES a call on 132500. That is the number to call for non-life-threatening emergencies when you need the SES's help. If it is a life-threatening emergency, obviously 000 is the number to call. We'll move to the reconciliation statement, and on behalf of Moonee Valley Council, I respectfully acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which Moonee Valley is located, being the Wurundjeri Woi-wurrung people of the Kulin Nation, and we pay respects to their spirits, ancestors, community members and elders past, present and emerging. We also extend this respect to other Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. Item 3 on the agenda is apologies and leave of absence, and I've not received any apologies. We have a full complement of councillors. Item 4 is declarations of conflicts of interest. Does any councillor have a conflict of interest in the sole item on the agenda this afternoon? There being none, we move to item 5, call for council meeting and request for report. So councillors, I will now ask for one of the 3 councillors who called for this special council meeting to please present their motion to council. Councillor Bedio.
Thank you, Mayor. I wish to move the motion. In light of the latest COVID-19 roadmap for reopening, we request that the CEO provide a report to Council at the meeting of Council on Tuesday, the 28th of September, highlighting opportunities and estimated costs to boldly enhance our commercial areas, including but not limited to significant activation of roads, car parks and public spaces between Step 3, estimated to be on the 26th of October, and Step 4, estimated to be the 5th of November on the Metropolitan Melbourne Roadmap, to enable retail and hospitality businesses to operate outdoors. Activating key outdoor public spaces for an extended period, at least 3 months, to support businesses who are restrained by density quotients. Commercial areas for activation should include, but are not limited to, Moonee Ponds Activity Centre, Racecourse Road / Pinnock Crescent in Flemington, Napier Street in Essendon, the Centreway in Keilor East, North Essendon Village, Keilor Road in Niddrie. Report should also detail ancillary opportunities for community wellbeing, such as outdoor theatres, musicians, street beautification, such as fairy lights, and outdoor furniture. This report can be provided as a late report to Council to provide officers with additional time to provide a response.
Thank you, Councillor Bedio. I'll seek a seconder for that motion. Councillor Byrne. Councillor Bedio, would you like to speak to the motion?
Thanks, Mayor. This motion was brought to Council by Councillor Byrne, Councillor Adams and myself. We've acted swiftly in response to the release of the roadmap to recovery that the Premier announced on Sunday. It's clearly evident over the past 20 months our businesses and our community have suffered, but now we do have a roadmap out. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. And it's our job as council to support businesses and the community step out of that, step out of this this really strange period and move towards the recovery phase. So there are really two parts to this motion. The first part is some significant activation or what's possible to significantly activate the roads, car parks and public spaces between that crucial step of step 3 and step 4. So for those at home that aren't aware, so that step allows for retail and hospitality businesses to operate, but outdoors only with significant limits. It's fair to say that a lot of businesses don't have the capacity to open in those open with those conditions, because they don't have outdoor space to do so. So what we're asking for is for officers to really think about how we can activate our commercial spaces, whether that's closing off roads, shutting down footpaths, to allow our retail and hospitality to open back up during that week. Now, I know it sounds like not a lot of time. I know that between those two steps, not a lot of time, but I really feel that week could mean a lot to our local businesses. Businesses are doing it really tough at the moment, and any opportunity anything that we can do to provide additional trade, I think we need to look at helping them out. The next part of this motion is the activating of key outdoor public spaces for an extended period, similar to what we've done or council has already done, for example, with Union Square. We're looking at how we can support our businesses who will no doubt suffer density quotient restraints over the next coming months. But not only that, how we can support the community and provide spaces for our community to gather in a safe, COVID-safe way. This is I know we're asking a lot of our officers. It's going to have to be quite a big ask. But like the motion states, we're looking to make some bold changes here. The last 20 months have been unprecedented, so we need to act fast and we need to adapt and we need to help our businesses to adapt. I'm really looking forward to seeing some big ideas here. I wouldn't be opposed to closing down streets for this week. Got to remember, it's only just over a week. I think we can do some really interesting things, and it can be a really interesting trial that we can reflect on for opportunities in the future. So I'm really looking forward to seeing this report. I'm confident that the officers are going to bring up some great ideas. And yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this report next week if it gets passed. Thanks, man.
Thank you, Councillor Bedio. Councillor Byrne, would you like to speak to the motion?
Thank you, Mayor. Can you hear me okay like this?
Yep, absolutely.
Great. Thank you. I had some IT issues this morning, hence the different background to everyone, so I do apologise for that. But I definitely do not apologise for seconding this motion and working on it with Councillor Bedio and Councillor Adams over the weekend. I feel like this is a really big step that we can do as a council. I'm really glad to see some sort of a roadmap. I know that it has been criticised by various people, but it is what it is, and I feel like we need to do what we can to ensure that our city is ready for it. Councillor Bedio has spoken a lot about how we can support the businesses, which is fantastic, and I absolutely agree with that. But I actually think for our mental health and well-being, it's actually really important as a city that we go forward and we do some of these things. I think one of the key words in this motion is boldly. I loved the parklets. I think there was some times that they worked and they didn't work, but at the end of the day, they often helped one business, maybe two. Let's be bold. Let's go big. Let's be in the media for being a council that does something outside of the square. I'm really looking forward to this report coming back with something that Moonee Valley has never done before. I look at the list, which has 6 different areas, and I'm just thinking of the ones in Rosehill at the moment, but the Centreway. I don't see why there is any reason why we can't have false floors and tables and chairs and really activate the middle of the Centreway, which is what it was really designed for in the first place. Keele Road, again, we've got Wallace Mall. The traders have asked for some sort of a playground, something to get kids involved. There could be something at the back in the car park there. There are various options, and it is so exciting for the businesses and for the community to get on board with this. I think that it will also show that as a council, we're ready to get going. We really want to do this, and it will also also work with how we're aiming to get our community vaccinated. We're sitting on 70%, Mayor, and by the time this comes across, who knows, we might all be 80%, 90%, 95% double vax. So thank you very much, Councillor Bedio, for moving this motion. It's exciting and I can't wait to see what the report comes back with next week if this is approved. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Byrne. Does any other councillor wish to speak to the motion? Councillor Adams.
Thanks, Mayor. It goes without saying that really that all Metro Melbourne residents are looking forward to some restrictions easing. We've all done it pretty tough for a long time now, whether it's people who have lost their jobs or unable to work, business owners struggling with the limitations that the restrictions have imposed or unable to even operate, our exhausted frontline workers, our elderly residents struggling with isolation, mums and dads homeschooling kids while trying to work from home, young people in single member households also struggling with isolation. The examples are endless. We've all been struggling in different ways, and so the revealing of the roadmap was welcomed, and we're all really looking forward to some freedoms returning. As a council, we have a huge responsibility and a big part to play in how this will look in all stages of the plan. Obviously, what we can achieve will have budget considerations and will be pending state funding announcements, which I'm hoping will be very soon. I'm looking forward to seeing what comes back and considering ways that we can really bring some vibrancy and life back to our local neighbourhoods quickly by making it easy for our businesses to operate optimally and give our residents who have sacrificed so much during this pandemic something to celebrate and look forward to. We have so much potential in our municipality. Each neighbourhood has unique characteristics and fantastic shopping strips that service its local community. And this is our opportunity in Moonee Valley to really help activate some areas and bring some excitement so that we can all enjoy outdoor dining and activities in Moonee Valley in a COVID-safe way. Thanks.
Councillor Adams. Does any other councillor wish to speak to the motion? Councillor Hodgson.
Thanks, Mayor. Look, I really thank councillors for bringing this meeting. I think it's great for us to be acting quickly. One of the things that stood out to me is that the public health advice has been really consistent on emphasising that even once restrictions do ease on indoor activity, outdoor activity remains, the safest option for us. And I think I really support the idea that in helping our community return to, in-person activities, seeing each other, opening up businesses, celebrating our artist community, we will facilitate that as a council to happen safely as we open up. So really keen to see what we can do as a council to, as councillors have said, really boldly explore options over summer to allow opportunities for our city to get together and do that safely. I'm also really keen that, as the motion has outlined, the areas of activation could include but not limited to. I think there's a lot of learnings that we have around from the parklet program about, particular circumstances where parklets weren't appropriate or, weren't able to be facilitated. And hopefully some of those things have been thought through and other options might have been explored to look at opportunities for those businesses who, might be on a road with a tram route or on a hill, I think was another one of the barriers, ways that we can support those businesses to increase their outdoor trading. So I think, this is really exciting. It is a big ask. It's a quick turnaround. I think there'll be a lot more work to go on, beyond the 28th of September. But I think we do need to act fast and take these first steps and signal to our community that, we're gonna do something big to support the return to a COVID-safe summer.
Thank you, Councillor Hodgson. Does any other councillor wish to speak to the motion? Councillor Isa.
Mayor, if I could just ask a point of clarification just to the mover, if I may.
Absolutely.
Just as to whether there's any need to add in the words indicative 26 October, indicative 5th November. I'm not sure whether there is any need. I'm happy to move an amendment if there is, but if just asking whether you felt there needed to be any clarification there.
Councillor Bedio.
Thanks, Councillor Isa. I did think that as reading it, and so when I spoke to it, I said estimated. I'm not sure whether we need to actually amend the motion as it stands. I'll probably need to seek some further clarification to governance on that.
Given there's no report that is accompanying the motion, because it's just a call for a special meeting, it'll be up to governance once the motion is passed, if it is to enact the motion. So I guess it would fall back on councillors if they think that there is the need to insert those words to provide more clarity, to do so. If it's pretty much a given based on discussion, then probably not need to. So I think that will fall with councillors, which route to take, if that makes sense.
Thanks, Mayor.
Sorry.
So if I can provide further comment, given that if this passes, we'll get a report back. I'm sure officers might pick up on this in the report, noting that we've stated step 3 and step 4. Just a note to officers that keep in mind that those dates are indicative on vaccination rates. So I'm sure they'll pick up on that. Thanks, Mayor.
Well, thank you, Councillor Bedio. Back to you, Councillor Isa.
Thanks, Councillor Bedio. Thanks for that. I hope you didn't mind me asking just for that clarification. Thank you so much for bringing this forward to the 3 councillors who put in some work to act quickly and bring this. I won't repeat some of the comments that have been said, but I support them and support the efforts that are made to assist us to connect again and to support our community and our businesses. And I'd like to think it's hopefully doing what we can as a council to, I guess, say thank you to Moonee Valley for so patiently getting through lockdown. It's been hard for everybody. And also to say thank you to Moonee Valley for getting out and getting vaxxed, because all of the roadmap, which is quite complicated, is quite lots of different levels, but a lot of the settings in the roadmap do rely on full vaccination. And Moonee Valley is really working hard to make sure that we do make the opening up a safe process. And as I said, those settings are contingent on that full vaccination. So thanks for the work being done there. Just if I can mention a couple of things. I guess we've all travelled to different places around the world where we've really enjoyed streetscapes where it's actually all about people and music and the life is on the street. And I think that's what we heard from people during the council plan engagement as well, that's what people really aspire to having in our local communities. And if it's taken COVID and lockdown to help us to enact that and bring that to life in Moonee Valley, well, that's one of those rare, tiny silver linings of COVID. If we can use this process to really turn Moonee Valley into a place where people enjoy being out and about, and the arts are at the forefront as well, which thank you very much for including that reference there in the motion, Councillor Bettio. I can envisage temporary stages, buskers, musicians being supported by council, perhaps a temporary stage at Queen's Park to help when the only big space for performers is outside. We don't really have anything outside in Moonee Valley for people to really use. Perhaps a temporary stage at Queen's Park might help in that regard. And thank you, Councillor Hodgson, for mentioning that degree of equity across. We really want to try to make sure that everyone's able to benefit from this, and that all stakeholders are consulted with as much as possible in this brief time frame, but can benefit from this. And thank you very much to the staff for what will be a very quick turnaround. Greatly appreciate it.
Thank you, Councillor Isa. Does any other councillor wish to speak to the motion? If not, Councillor Bettio, wish to close?
Thanks, Mayor. I concur with my colleagues and appreciate the comments and feedback. As Councillor Byrne said, this needs to be a bold step forward. Our community at this point, by step 3, would have been locked down for over 250 days, more so than any other city in the world. We owe it to them and we owe it to our businesses to take a bold step forward and not to be scared. To our officers, don't be scared in making these changes. No doubt it's not everybody is going to be pleased, but I can guarantee that the majority of our city is asking for this, is begging us to provide them a way out, to provide a chance to reconnect, to provide a chance for our businesses to reopen again. So I really encourage our officers to think boldly here and take a drastic step that we perhaps have never taken in the city of in the history of our city. Thanks for all of the feedback again. Thank you to Councillor Byrne and Councillor Adams for working together on this with me. I think it's very exciting and I'm really looking forward to hopefully passing this and getting the report back next week.
Thank you very much, Councillor Bedio. I'll put the motion to the vote. All those in favour? And that's carried unanimously. So, councillors and those watching online, that concludes the business on today's meeting agenda. We thank you for joining us and I declare the meeting closed.